Okay, guys, you know we've all talked about the I do too much crap. I am stuck doing a million things, and yet we're not always really highly effective in that process. And so I'm super excited to introduce to you our next guest, who is a rock star about helping us know our numbers, get on track, stop the BS, and actually get the right things done. Give a very warm welcome. We got Leanne Fuller with us today. Woo! Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm
Yay.
so excited to have you here today. And I want to ask you, why on earth do we think that if we just keep adding more rocks into the bucket, that we will not drown?
Isn't that one of the $1 million questions? And we just keep doing it because we feel like we can do it. We feel like, we feel like we have to be Superwoman or Superman and do it all, or we feel like we can't hire somebody, or we don't trust enough to hire somebody and share these more innermost details of our business. And sometimes it's because we're just plain embarrassed.
Yeah, I think that's a
Sometimes we
huge
get,
one.
yeah,
I
we
know for
get too
sure
embarrassed.
when I was hiring my first people into my team, I was like, am I really as good as I think I am? Like, this is gonna be a bit embarrassing. I don't have any SOPs written down, and I was like, I had this real big moment. And I remember just going, oh my God, Christine, if you're gonna run your business like a business and step out of your business without the business imploding, go do what you know how to do for yourself, not just for helping your clients. And in about a month, I gave myself this really big shift with dashboards and with other tools, which I know you do so well with other people, so that not only do I run it like a CEO, I can exhale like a business owner that says, I trust my team to do a great job. So I'm going to give you the floor to talk about how we actually take these money steps to do more results without more work. The floor is yours.
Oh, yeah. Yay. Okay. So I am super excited to share with this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that little awkward sharing moment. So bear with me.
I hear you.
Okay. So here we are. You guys should be able to see my screen.
Thumbs
Did I
up.
put
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about the 7 secrets to make more without doing more. Let me get some me's in the comments if you want to make more without having to do more, because that is one of our big goals, right? We're working so hard, we're doing all the things, we're wearing all the hats because we feel like we have to. We just talked about that, right? So, the way I look at this is as entrepreneurs, CEOs in our business, we look at our numbers. There's 3 different categories we fall into. Number one is we're playing catch up. Catch up is where the chaos is. We're always behind. We only look at things when we absolutely have to, December, January, craziness. That's where the chaos lives. And then there's maintenance. Maintenance is where you're getting your numbers. You have a bookkeeper, you're okay. You know what your numbers are, but do you know what to do with them? So maintenance is a okay place to be. But then there's momentum. Momentum is where you can grow. Momentum is where you get into that 7 figure revenue mark, right? You have to have momentum to grow. Yes, you can. We're all here to get more clients and to make it work so easily and it just flows, right? But it's really hard to have that piece flowing, but you're living in chaos and cleanup mode with your books, right? So anybody here want to be living in that momentum space, know what's going on, and know what to do with the numbers? Let me get some dollar signs in the comments if you are ready to really figure out how do we start building that momentum, not just in our sales, but also in our numbers. How do we use these numbers to make more without doing more? So give me those dollar signs. Yes, of course we do, right? So how do we do that? There are 3 steps. There's 3 secrets to making more money. Number one is doing less. Number two is making more profit. Number three is paying attention to the numbers. And when you're doing all 3 of these things, you can work smarter, not harder. So, who here is ready? Give me some dollar signs. Let me see all the dollar signs if you guys are ready to do these 3 things. because that's why you're here. Okay. So, the number one mistake we make in our business is we feel like we have to wear all of the hats. We feel like we have to be doing more to make more. We feel like if, okay, we want to double our revenue, we have to double our workload. We need to double our efforts. So, it kind of turns you off to really wanting to make more, doesn't it? So, that's a very first mistake that we make in business is we just feel like we have to do it all ourselves. So, here's the secret. You do less. You start focusing on what matters, what makes you the most money, what makes you the most profit. How do we do that? That's the next question, right? It sounds simple or not, right? I mean, who would think you could do less but make more, right? Let me tell you how to do that, right? So here's the tool. You're going to do the 20-80 rule. You're going to put in 20% of the effort that gives you the 80% of your results. So you're going to do the things that get you the best results. How do you do that? You hire a team, you put systems into place, and you use automation. We are in a world of AI. If you are not using that to run your business, to automate as much as you possibly can, if you are doing something multiple times a day, you should figure out how to automate that. Because chances are there is a way to do that out there. So make sure you're using the tools you have available. So you can focus on the 20 things that make you revenue. You can focus on making the sales calls. Focus on the reach outs if you don't have somebody to do that for you. Focus on what is going to get you to that next level. Focus on the things that are going to have the biggest impact in your business. So, are you guys ready to have your mind blown? Because here is what happens. For those people who think they cannot afford to hire somebody, I'm going to tell you, you can afford not to. And this is why. So, how much is your time worth? Is your time worth $500 an hour? I'm going with $500 an hour. It's a good number, right? Don't we all want to be worth $500 an hour, right? So if you're working 5 days a week and you're just wasting an hour of your time on doing bookkeeping, on doing marketing, on doing VA work, that admin work that you are up late all hours of the night trying to do because you don't have any other time to do it, 1 hour a, a day of spending your time on this, that is $130,000 in a year. You are wasting just 1 hour a day. Who can you hire for $130,000 in a year? You can get a lot of support for that. You can get a lot of team, a lot of AI, a lot of tools for that 130,000. So is there anybody here that still believes they can't afford to hire somebody? Are you ready? Who's ready to really get serious about passing this stuff on, to stop doing it all yourself? Because obviously you can't afford not to. Time is money. How much of it are you wasting? And this doesn't even count those days we're doing that death scroll on Instagram or TikTok, or we're not even talking about that. We're talking about legitimate work, right? That you don't have to be doing. And I know I said waste of time. I say that very loosely because it's a waste of your time. It's not a waste of time. You need to have somebody looking at your numbers. You do need to be aware. You do need to know what's happening, but you need to be able to pass the grunt work on to somebody else, right? Okay, so let's go on. What is the next mistake that we make in business? We think we need to make more money. There are people that say sales solve all of your problems. And that is somewhat true. Sales solve a lot of problems. The more money you make, it solves a lot of problems. But sometimes more sales create more problems. Let me ask you this. What happens to a boat that has holes in it? that ship's gonna sink. So, yes, sales is a great solution, but it can't solve everything. So, make more money is not the solution. Making more profit is. So, seven-figure business owners, they make more profit. And how do you do that, right? You look at the things that are more profitable for you. So I'm going to share my three profit pillars that you need to be looking at so you can start making more profit, right? So the tools, the three profit pillars. You need to know your costs on your products. You need to make sure you're selling what makes you more money, what makes you the most profit. That's why it's so important to know your costs, right? Cash flow. Cash is king. Can I get cash is king in the comments, right? We need to know what's coming in and what's going out in our business. We need to be able to forecast this. We need to know when we need to have funds. That way we know when we need to make some money, right? And profits. You need to maximize your profits. You need to know where those leaky buckets are. Where are you leaking money? When was the last time you went through your bank account? I say every dollar you spend should be making you more money in one of three ways. Number one, it is generating you more money, like your marketing. If your marketing is not generating revenue for you, cut it. It should be freeing up your time so you can make more money, right? If you are doing your bookkeeping, if you are doing your marketing, if you are doing those admin tasks, and let's be frank, you either really suck at it or you're just doing it because you feel like you can't hire somebody. Let's be real. Because who loves to do that stuff? I know I can honestly say that people don't like doing that so much because I love numbers and I still don't love doing that. Yes, I do it because I'm really good at it, but it's not my, if I could be doing other things, I would be doing other things, right? So, number one, making you more money. Number two, freeing up your time to make more money. And number three, investing in yourself, investing in your skills, building your skills, hiring a coach that's going to help you get there faster. There's nothing worse than trying to get somewhere and it's taking you forever because you're learning it all on your own. Wouldn't it make more sense to have somebody help you get through the hurdles? Somebody who's been there, somebody who's done that and can help you get there faster? So, three ways. Make more money, free up more time to make more money, or invest in yourself or your business to make more money. Okay? Those are the three ways you're going to maximize your profits. Okay. This way you know how much money you're throwing out the window. Because believe it or not, we all are. I was talking to a client the other day who realized, holy crap, I'm spending $120 to pay bills when I can do it for free. Those little things add up. So make sure you're looking at your bank statement, looking at your profit and loss and seeing where are you throwing out the money? Where are you throwing it out the window? Okay, next mistake. We ignore the key metrics in our business. We ignore the data. We ignore the numbers. We ignore the things that are going to drive us, to push us. So that way, if we're ignoring these numbers, we're not making the right decisions. Anybody here back in the day, I used to throw, that's how I could tell how my spaghetti was done. I'd throw it at the wall and see if it stuck. Anybody ever run their business that way? Yeah, because you're not paying attention to the metrics. You're running your business on drama, on your gut, instead of the data. Okay, here's the secret. Strong KPIs, key performance indicators, is where you learn what drives your business. This is where you can see what's working and what's not working in your business. This is going to tell you what levers to pull. is by paying attention to the data. You know, if I mentioned marketing earlier. If you're not paying attention to what's converting in your business, what is generating revenue, you will keep dumping money into something. So this is where you know this is by paying attention to those KPIs, those key performance indicators. And if you aren't sure what those are, I'm going to give you a chance to figure out what that is in a minute. Okay? So that's a secret. Now, how do you do this? What is the tool? You use CEO dashboards. So you have a dashboard that can take all of these moving parts in your business and have it in one place. This way you can track your financials, you can track your marketing, you can track your operations so you have control of your business. You can run your business with efficiency and you can optimize it through dashboards. Take all of the pieces, you put them in one place, and you can leverage the data and know what's happening all at once in all of the different areas of your business instead of guessing. Wouldn't it be nice to be sitting on the beach and you have one place to go to look at what's happening in your business and say, hey, they're doing a great job, or what's going on with John because his conversions are half of what Betty Lou's are, right? So then you can call up and say, hey, what's going on? Does John need more training? Is there something going on with, does he just know the process? Or does John just need to be fired because he's lazy? When you have this all in one place, you know. That way you can pull the right levers. Anybody ever heard, what is the saying? Hire slow, fire fast? It's a good way to figure that out, right? Or looking at your projections. So that way you can forecast out your revenue and your expenses and say, wow, we have really high expenses this month because our insurance renews, our coaching renews, this renews. So we need to do something more for revenue. Wouldn't it be nice to have that all in one place? That's what you get from your KPIs. That's what KPIs are. They tell you, they're the key indicators that tell you what's happening in your business. So how can you learn more about those just to get started? So, because here's the thing, who is ready, throwing spaghetti at the wall? Who's ready to stop throwing spaghetti at the wall? I was a single mom for years. It was me and my girls. Whenever I had to hang something up, this is how I would measure it. I would go, okay, here's this. Okay, here's the size of it. Here's this. Isn't it amazing how it changes when you switch from one area to the next? So if you're really ready to start running your business like this, let's set up a scaling strategy call. So we're dropping in the link to my scaling strategy call, so you can stop throwing spaghetti at the wall. You can stop using that manual figures for measuring what's happening in your business. You can stop running your business on gut instinct and really start knowing what the numbers are, start building your business and have that momentum of your numbers behind you, driving your business, not holding you back. Because there's nothing worse, because I've talked to a lot of people who ran into an accidental success in COVID. And now they were accidentally successful. They built a business because they were bored. They built it on necessity, but they didn't know what was happening. And now here we are 5 years later, and it's catching up to them. So now they're in chaos. So yes, they had some momentum, but there's nothing worse than stopping that momentum because you have to now go back and clean up the last year, 2 year, 5 years in your business. So if you're ready to start running your business with the momentum of your numbers behind you, let's set a scaling strategy call. They've dropped the link in the comments. And also, anybody who does that, I'm going to give you your KPI guide to $1 million without the chaos. That way, for anybody who's saying, what's a KPI? What is that? Where do I start? I'm going to give you this so you know where to start, so you can start using these numbers collecting the right numbers, paying attention to the right numbers, and using them to drive your business. Okay. Any If you have any questions, please just book those calls. We can connect, we can go over that, and we can start scaling your business with confidence.
I
Okay.
love, love, love this. Give me a sec here to come up and join you. I love this because I remember, talk about COVID, lots of people having accidental success in COVID. I think that's such an interesting comment. And some good strategic partners of mine who've been in my events in past years said to me, pull up your dashboard. I want to see what it is. And I was like, I'm embarrassed to say I don't have one. And they're like, how in the frick do you not have one? I know the size of your business. I'm like, well, it's just me and some team members, and no one needs to really know. And they're like, you used to lead multi-million-dollar teams. You reward them, you have KPIs. You need to do the same for your business. And I know you and I've had many conversations around this important piece. And when clients work with us, one of the very first things we look at is building a simple dashboard, because you have to know where you stand to repeat
Yes.
success, or
Yes.
you're doomed to repeat failure. And that's why we had that gigantic elephant in the room, right? It's,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on in first base. And if you showed up accidentally as an entrepreneur, welcome. Now let's figure out, how do you sustain being a business entrepreneur?
Yeah.
Because there's no glory in constantly letting your butt on fire.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
like a
You don't
steady
want to,
paycheck. How about you?
yeah. Yeah. You don't want to be in chaos.
No, you
Okay.
don't.
And that is where you live. If you aren't up to date, you don't know what's happening, you feel like you're constantly catching up, who wants to run their business and live their life like that? There's no consistency, there's no confidence in that. Wouldn't it just make more sense to, pardon my French, get your shit together and be confident and clear and know what's happening in your business?
Well, and this is an interesting thing. And guys, I mean, I'm sure all of this feels highly uncomfortable because I'm watching you. I'm watching you. This is highly uncomfortable. And this is part of the Turn on Your Client Waterfall series, is one of my favorites, because I just watched the light bulbs go on. People are like, so that's what running a business is? So that's what I've signed on for? Oh my God, no one showed me, but I can choose this. And truthfully, you can hire people like Leanne. You can hire her. She's great at what she does. She can hire us and any of the speakers that have been here today, because truthfully, that was the point of this whole interactive workshop. You don't know what you
Yeah.
don't know? No problem. We're going to equip you with the knowledge. More importantly, what will you do with it will determine your momentum. And we say, get off zero. Zero is dead zone. Everything comes from the compound interest. It's the eighth wonder of the world. It is absolutely the coolest bit of math. And we do that with our effort. We do that with our dollars. Every dollar is equal. And here's the cool bit. I can guarantee none of our clients avoid their numbers. Their numbers are not there. My final comment is so good. Guys, pay attention. This is a post-it note moment. Your numbers are not shaming you. They're not judging you. They're not criticizing you. They are just the number.
They're just there.
They're just
It's just
there.
data. It's not
Just,
scary.
just data, and go, okay, if I don't like that, then here's the thing. Move from zero. Play the
Yeah.
compound effect. Grab that call. It's so valuable to sit with somebody who's really comfortable in the weeds with numbers. We'll show you where you are. And you can make a real determination, because guys, we're heading into summer. Business does not stop in summer. You've heard me say that earlier today. It does not stop in summer. And if you want to wake up in September and start from ground zero, your client will be coming in January. Just so we're
Yeah.
clear. How
Yeah.
about you get them now?
Yeah. Because the work you do now affects what is going to be happening 3 months from now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Guys, please go connect to Leanne. She's got her details in the chat. Thank you for being our guest today. Absolutely love it, guys. Go build your numbers. I want to see you win. Thanks, Leanne. We'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.